Hi, welcome aboard September 25th dive charter with Dive Dr. Dive. Uh, was a beautiful morning on September 25th. We left the dock about 7:30. Our first dive was this shipwreck here, the YDT-15, which is a Navy tender. It's 132 feet long. It's in 90 feet of water and it raises about 20 feet off the bottom and 15 miles offshore. The lionfish that you see here is an invasive species, so they're not welcomed, and the dive master does carry a little spear that he can catch them and kill them off, but I think it's a losing battle because every time we go down there we see more and more lionfish. The Navy tenders, there's two of them. There's the YDT-15 and the 14. The 14 is a little bit higher up off the bottom, so it sits nice on the bottom. Of this one, the 15 that we're diving today, is partially sunken into the sand. This is a moon jellyfish. They are a stinging jellyfish. Those little hair-like tentacles that you see on it is what actually stings you. These are some spot fin butterflies that we saw. Here we are coming out of one of the holes in the bow of the shipwreck. As you will notice that there are several schools of fish on these shipwrecks, which makes it very enjoyable besides the shipwreck itself. We have found octopus on these Navy tenders, schools of amberjacks, gruntfish, queen angels, blue angels. So there's plenty of sea life. There are sea urchins that grow on the shipwreck or live on the shipwreck, and oysters and bristleworms. So be careful of the bristleworms and the sea urchins. Here's another jellyfish. The moon jellyfish likes the warm water, so as soon as the water starts cooling off this fall, the jellyfish will disappear. At least there's a few of them, but they're easy to avoid and get around, and they're very slow moving, so it's not too much of an issue. We wear 3 mil suits, hoods and gloves, so if we accidentally come across one or one brushes up against us, we don't have to worry about the stinging. It's not like a box jellyfish, so the sting does tingle and it can burn it a little bit, but it will not be serious unless you have an allergic problem with them. Here we are going down the starboard side of the shipwreck. Here we're at the surface. Some moon jellyfish that we were just taking some pictures of off the side of the boat. It was an early start that morning, so it was a little bit dark on that shipwreck, so I didn't take a lot of video. Here we are having a surface interval in between the dives of the day. Another couple that joined us for the charter, Captain Jim on Dr. Dive, takes out 6 divers. Here we are on our second dive. Our second dive was the LCM and the tugboat Heron. It's a 56-foot steel tug which intentionally sunk in July 1990 with the LCM landing craft. The tug landed upside down on the LCM, and then a hurricane lifted it and set it upright about 80 feet away from the LCM. And this dive is 11 miles offshore. The Captain Jim was excellent about dropping the anchor right in between the two shipwrecks, so you could actually get to both of them and see them both on the dive. Once again, this shipwreck is full of fish, which makes for an enjoyable dive. There was a very large turtle that the other divers found off the stern, underneath the stern of the boat. Unfortunately, Russ and I did not find the turtle, so I didn't get any video of him, but we did see him from the boat while we were getting geared up and before going in. This is actually the tugboat Heron that I am swimming into. When you swim into any of these shipwrecks in this area, you do have to look at the area and look at the ceiling above you for any bristleworms or sea urchins, so you don't have one like the bristleworms fall on you or rub up or touch or grab or bump your head on a sea urchin. So You need to have good buoyancy and be very careful when you swim through these shipwrecks. Here I am coming up on a queen angelfish. I do need to get some lights for my video camera so you can see the beautiful colors of these fish. We usually see one or two octopus on these shipwrecks. I did not see any on this particular day, but in the past we have found octopus on these shipwrecks. As you can see, the schools of fish are so thick it makes it hard to even see the shipwreck, and cuts down on the visibility. The visibility on this particular shipwreck we had between 60 and 70 feet. And I think I mentioned that the water temperature was about 80 degrees and the surface air temperature was about 82 to 85 degrees. You can see very close right there is a little fish. Those little fish actually live inside the jellyfish. That's their home. There are little pieces of the jellyfish that float around in the water because they are a food for the turtles and some of the other marine life. So it's another reason to wear some sort of skin protection, because those little pieces floating in the water can irritate your skin and tingle a little bit. Here's a jellyfish that is hung up on the shipwreck, so I'm sure the fish will make a meal out of it. Here I am coming up on a small school of spadefish. Usually we see very large schools of spadefish. They can become quite large. That's the spadefish right there. The other large fish that you saw was a blue angelfish. Another moon jelly. The moon jellyfish, like I said, go very slow, so they're easy to avoid and swim around. Here I am coming around the stern of the shipwreck, and if I were been looking a little closer, I probably could have looked down and seen that turtle that was sleeping under there. This is a still picture that I took. There's Russ swimming through the shipwreck. And behind him is our dive master, Eric. He had a little spear and he was actually killing off some of the lionfish. And he actually found 2 octopus, he said, while he was looking around in the little holes in the bottom of the hull of the shipwreck, or on the deck of the shipwreck there, one in each hole. There's a starfish. This little fella is the leopard toadfish. They're very shy. They live inside many little areas of coral in a shipwreck and just kind of hang around. And so look close if you ever do any of these shipwrecks. Just look close inside the little pockets and holes and crevices, and you'll be sure to find them. They're everywhere. This is your white spotted soapfish. They actually get their name because of a soap-like toxic mucus that they secrete. They usually lay on their sides and up against things and underneath things, ledges, corals, shipwrecks. They're plentiful on the shipwrecks. I always found them to be very interesting and very docile little fish. Here's Russ going through the shipwreck. And that was the end of our dive, and we are actually coming up on to the surface. We usually stop about halfway for a minute at the end of the dive and then do a 3-minute safety stop at 15 to 10 feet. This is the bottom of the Captain Jim's boat, Dr. Dive Charters. It's a catamaran. Great smooth ride out in the Gulf. Twin engines, nice ladder, so it's very easy to get in and out of the shipwreck. So that was the end of our second dive. The charter offers a 2-tank dive. It was great. He does inshore, midshore, offshore, also the Oriskany. This is the marina where you pick up the dive charter. It's right downtown Pensacola, and right across the street on this particular day was the seafood festival, which was awesome. So we got to dive in the morning, got back by noon, got to have our beer, got to have some fresh seafood. It was a great day in Pensacola. The weather was 80, 85 degrees right in there, low humidity, so it was very enjoyable. They had live music, there were arts and crafts. This was one of my favorite artists that were there. It was beautiful wood with sculpted fish and turtles. I mean, Pensacola has a great art community. Here's some steel workers. This is actually a guy who does some stainless steel sea life. The manta ray or the eagle rays there were just awesome. Some woodworking, ceramics, you name it, they had it there that day. We sat down and enjoyed ourselves right across from the marina there and listened to some live music. They had a section just for the kids, which was excellent. The kids had a ball, literally, as you can see. They have these big air balls that they get inside and they blow them up with air and let them play around on the water. Kind of reminds me of the movie Bolt with the little guinea pig and the ball that was named Rhino. So that was kind of fun to sit here and watch the kids try to get around in the water in these balls. Here's another little activity for the children and young adults, car racing, and it looked like it was a little hard to get a hang of at first, get the cars moving and going around the track, because you can see in the background they had the steering wheels and the controls. After a while, though, they did get the hang of it, and the cars did go racing around. It was fun to watch. The music was excellent. It was a great day. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you ever get a chance to come to Pensacola, give Russ and I a call, and we'd be glad to set something up and go out and do a dive charter or go to one of the local festivals. Spring and fall, we have great festivals. So thank you very much for watching the video, and looking forward to hearing from you. Bye.